Okay, what is up, everybody? I just wanted to give some quick thoughts on the latest Outriders patch that was rolled out this weekend, last weekend, I should say. And it was meant to address a lot of the big launch issues that Outriders has been having throughout the entire month of April since it's been out. Uh, Things like the sign-in issue and a lot of the major crashes that are very easy to repeat. A lot of them have been ironed out, which is great, but along with this, there are a lot of other fixes, and of course, this caused a lot of other issues as well in the name of fixing things. Uh, for example, like I said, the launch issues of crashing and not being able to sign in, a lot of them were mitigated and either are not existent anymore, or in some cases, they're a little bit harder to reproduce. So the game is just overall a bit more stable, which is always a good sign. Where things are a bit more contentious is with what is happening with the mods and general game balance. Uh, so, for almost the entire month of April, most likely the entire month since the game launched, there was a mod that actually gave you the ability Golem, which is a lot of damage mitigation. And a lot of players and a lot of people in their various builds were using it. But the biggest reason they were using it is because once activated, it actually didn't go away. The ability would have its damage mitigation on at all times. And this was obviously a bug, and a lot of people knew that the patch was coming and that this would be removed. So no one's really in an uproar about that. What people are in an uproar about is that other ways to mitigate damage and some of the other problems in general balancing of players versus the actual game are a bit all over the place. One of the big ones is things like what seems to be overtuned monsters versus your armor and resistance stats. For example, you can have just, I don't even know what the larger ends of armor and health and damage mitigation are, but there are some people who are building severely into the mitigation and they're still getting one-shotted by all kinds of things. Just suddenly they'll be playing and the character will fall over. And obviously this isn't good, and a lot of players are reporting this issue, and a lot of players are wondering what is actually happening. And it seems like People Can Fly have admitted that there is an issue here, and it's not as intended. So, the next question is, when is stuff like this going to be fixed? Because the player's only real damage mitigation was removed through the Golem mod, a lot of players have resorted into the going into the other mods that have defense on them. And what players are discovering is that a lot of this stuff isn't actually working, or it isn't working as intended, or that enemies are just so overtuned beyond it that it doesn't actually matter. And of course, this is a bad thing. So, the question is now, when will stuff like this actually work? Because it clearly got missed in this last patch. And this isn't the first time stuff like this has happened. Outriders was hot fixed earlier in its life cycle to lower the damage on some of the bullet mods or the bullet builds that players were doing, but there weren't really any buffs to anything else. So it kind of went counter to what the game was asking the players to do. You know, be these super powerful, super well equipped, super well thought out builds players. And it seems like this is going counter to that. So the question is the next question is, I should say, is what is Outriders actually going to do about this? Because it seems like what the players want and what the developers want and what the players are asking for and what the players are getting still isn't in sync yet. So we will see how Outriders shakes out within the next coming weeks, but I think just looking at Reddit and Discord and some of the other places where people are talking about this game still, a lot of people are moving on. They're ready to move on and they are moving on. there are other games out there. There's Monster Hunter, which got a really big patch recently, which added content. There's Resident Evil. There's Pokemon Snap. There's competition that isn't exactly in the same genre as Outriders, but competition is competition. And a lot of players have admitted, like, after this last patch, their general interest in this game has fallen through the floor, basically. And I'm one of them too. I really like this game. I said so in my review, but it's got a lot of issues and seemingly a very unclear vision for what they want this game to be. Because it's being hot fixed as if it's a live service MMO, but it's not, even though it is always online for some reason. And it seems to be running counter to the argument where we want players to be powerful and have fun, but they're still nerfing things and there's still mods that don't work properly. But it's now 1 month after the game has been released, and people have finished it, and people are finishing their time with the end game content. They just want to have fun. And they're not having fun anymore. So, yeah, that's just my little spiel on this game. I do hope they turn it around. I personally am taking it out of my rotation at this point. I'm going to be playing Pokemon Snap. I'm going to be playing Monster Hunter, which I just got. Even though I got it a little late. I'm jumping in. And I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 8 and, everything that comes after that. But, yeah, hopefully Outriders can turn it around. Maybe it can recoup some of its losses in its player base. Maybe the player base can convince new players to come in. But at this point, I still can't really recommend this game. It's still got lots of bugs and lots of issues. You'll be able to complete the single player just fine, but considering that this game is touted as a big co-op shooter, I will not recommend it because it's still got lots of connection issues and it's just filled to the brim with bugs, even though a lot of them are pretty under the hood and can be easily ignored when you're playing just the campaign. It's still a mess though, and it's still a $60 mess or more depending on what region you're in. So yeah, after 1 month, just keep holding out. It's a good game and it'll maybe be a better game eventually, but it's got so many issues that I just still can't recommend it in its current state. Maybe once the player base and the developers have a better idea of what they want to do with the game, it'll be reach its full potential. But at this moment, I would wait. I would just still hold off. Just wait for that sale. Wait for the all clear. But as of now, it's still a mess. I love it, but yeah, I'm done with it for now. I'll jump in after a few more weeks, maybe after another major patch. Maybe if I see some good word of mouth. And yeah, maybe I'll make another update talking about that. Hopefully in a more positive light. But anyway, I hope you guys, if you are enjoying Outriders, keep enjoying it. Don't let all the negativity consume you. If you were waiting to see how the first major patch went, clearly things didn't go as planned. I would give it a bit more time. But yeah, that's all for now. Hopefully videos like this are fine. I'm not using a script or anything. I'm just talking off the cuff. That's why it's so rambly. But yeah, hope everyone has a good time. Keep enjoying your games. Be positive. Shine on, as Maximilian would say, and just enjoy your games. Anyway, have a good time, guys. See you later.